Good afternoon, everyone. This is our first session for this year. So, hopefully, uh, we could have a very productive meeting today. So, our topic is all about writing SQL query. So, I will be reviewing some lessons from our previous module, and also I will be answering your questions and concerns later after my presentation. So, let's start. So our what are the topics that I'm going to be discussed? So this afternoon or this meeting. So the first topic is I will be conducting a review of the SQL or SQL or the structured query language. I'm also going to rediscuss the syntax of SQL commands. Okay. Uh, The next topic is all about where clause. How do we write conditions in our query so that we could filter some results? Next is I'm going to discuss the usage of AND operator and OR operator. So how do we use them, when to use them, and what particular extent that we can use these particular operators. And of course, aside from that, I'm going to discuss also the relational operators like less than, greater than, etc. I think you're already familiar with them also. And like clause, how do we filter data based on character representation of query. Aside from that, I'm going to discuss the order by clause. How do we sort the result from our query. I also include the three commonly used functions such as the count, the sum, and the average function. So very useful to especially if you are going to perform calculations. Next, I'm going to discuss group by clause. How do we summarize the result according to specific criteria and distinct keyword. Okay, so let's begin. Let's start by reviewing what SQL or SQL stands for. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, so SQL or SQL is a database computer language designed for the retrieval and management of data in a relational database. So this is very essential, most especially if you are developing a program. Why? Because mostly, majority of our program, the data that we input there will be proceed to storing of into a database. So majority of our program retrieves data coming from database. So the only language that our programming languages understand in retrieving or managing the data is the use of SQL commands. So this is the standard language of managing and retrieving data coming from the database. So it's very important that you know how to use them depending on a particular usage, most especially if you're going to retrieve a particular data coming from your database. So madalas na natin to nakikita sa mga application, but you know it actually works in the backend part. What we always see or available in our screen is the result of the query. Let's say, for example, if you want to search a particular person on your Facebook application, all you have to do is to type the name or the keyword, and the Facebook application returns the result. So that's what Facebook app intends to do when a user tries to search a particular contact. But what happened in the back end, when you say doon mismo sa loob ng program, is we are sending a query command to the database so that when a command is executed by the database, it actually returns a records or return nothing, something like that. Okay, so this topic is very important, most especially if you are going to develop an application. Okay, later I'm going to present an example. Okay, why is it learning SQL commands is very important. Number one, so most information system nowadays store data in a databases. So, in most cases, 90% or more, applications store data in a database. So there's no there's a large possibility of for you to be able to apply this in the future. So majority of databases or application use relational databases that requires a suitable database processing, languages processed values by connecting programs. So yeah, majority of the programs gumagamit na ng database. So in this diagram, you are going to see that majority of programs access our database through a DBMS, that is the database management system, which is our program itself. So when you access a particular function in a program, so that particular program requests an access to our database and retrieves the data. So each database contains several schema or tables that allows us to manage our data. So in that case, the only way for us to be able to communicate with our database is to send a command like the SQL command. So I hope it's clear now. Okay, so in a database environment, there are several users that access the database, and each of users may have different requests. So databases allows us to accommodate several requests depending on the need of the user. Okay. Okay. When do we use our SQL command? So SQL commands allows us or allows the users to access data in the relational database management system. That's the primary application of SQL. As a programmer, so this is very important for us because we embed this command into our program so that our application can retrieve information coming from the database. So it's a separate things to learn kasi we have a different languages that we already encountered like C#, like C++, but majority of the programming languages has their own logic, but in case of applying databases, we have a separate command that we need to apply. But all those commands can be embedded into our programming languages so that when that program requests data coming from our database, it will return a result that we need. Okay? So SQL allows us or allows users to describe the data. For example, if you want to identify the records, the table, and the fields that you are going to identify, so you can easily do that by using the SQL command. So let's say, for example, let's have some example here. I'm using the SQL log. Okay. Okay. Let me check. Can you see the application that I'm using right now, the SQL log? Visible na ba siya? Please reply doon sa ating chat box para before I proceed, I can assure that all of you are seeing what I'm trying to explain. Okay na ba? Malinaw na ba? Nakikita po ba yung application ko, SQL log? You can respond by activating your microphone. Okay, thank you very much. Now, sabi natin doon, we can identify or describe using SQL command. So, for example, we have a special command in SQL like describe. Hindi na natin to na-mention. Siguro by next subject na to, mga advanced command to. When we say describe, we can identify all the information coming from a particular database. For example, I have here a sample database. We call that InWin. This is a downloadable database that you can find on the internet. It contains a sample data, complete data. If you want to, let's say, have a copy of this one, you can download this online. It's a complete database for a small store. So let's say describe. Let's say describe customers. What we are trying to do in this command is we are trying to define what information that we can extract to the table customers. So let's try to run this one. So in this case, na-describe niya. Okay? So the table customer has the following fields, data type, and so on. So it's a powerful command that allows you to identify all the information that how the user or the developer defined the table customer. So yun. Okay? So SQL commands are very powerful command if you want to access anything inside the database. That's why majority of what you call the crackers or the hackers intentionally learn the basics and the advanced features of SQL commands, because when we try to access information, the only way to do that is to learn how to write commands and retrieve information. So the SQL answer those needs. Kaya madalas kasama sinaaral ng mga gustong maging security personnel, information security analyst, etc. is to learn how to perform this command so that we can identify the information inside the database. Okay? So yun. This is very powerful language that I think very important for you to learn. Okay? So let's proceed with my slide. Number 3, it allows users to define the data in a database and manipulate that data. So, by the way, in our subject, I did not include the lesson for creating a database using SQL command. It's because I think it's more practical to use SQLiog or Workbench. Okay, but siguro sa ibang subject siguro I will try discuss this one, but this time since our topic is all about data management, so I jump from the introduction of the database, nag-jump na ako papunta sa SQL command. So the definition of the table, how to create database, how to create tables using command, I omit that particular topic. Instead, using our IDE like SQLiog and MySQL Workbench, doon na lang tayo sa IDE nag-manipulate ng data or nag-create ng table. Kasi I think mas ma-appreciate nyo kasi unlike nung panahon namin, what we did is talagang inaaral namin yung pag-create table, create database, pag-define ng column ng table using command. Siguro for me, I think it's more on the reason of mas ma-appreciate nyo siya pag may IDE na. Kasi nga, mas practical, mas madali. So, I think, mas ma-appreciate nyo pag may idea na tayong ginagamit. But of course, I'm going to discuss this pero sa ibang subject na. Siguro by next sim siguro, if available sa subject nyo. Okay? So, next, SQL allows to embed within other languages using SQL modules, libraries, and pre-compiler. So, magagamit natin siya to use this to several programming languages. So, very usable siya. So, hopefully, makabisado nyo siya agad. Lalo na pa nag-develop na tayo ng mga application, siguro sa ibang subject pa nagkita-kita ulit tayo. Okay? Okay, so SQL allows users to create, drop databases and tables. So, ito, ginawa na natin to. Ang ginawa lang natin sa SQLiog is nag-right-click, drop table, but you can also remove table or databases using SQL command. We call that data definition language. Okay? Next, allows users to create view, turn procedure, functions, and in a database. So, these are advanced commands that we can execute. Like if you want to have a much better view of the data, we can use view. Since in some cases we can write a very long SQL commands, but we want to shortcut that command and access a very simple temporary table, you can use a view. Okay, let me expand this one para gets nyo. Ano po? So, let me use a pen. Okay. para maintindihan natin. Okay? So, let me use the space in our PowerPoint. So, for example, we have tables para ma-explain natin yung view. So, we have table 1. Okay? And another table. In some cases kasi, we write commands to combine these two para ma-merge yung result. Para magkaroon tayo ng summary at para magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag talaga na information. Because what we store in our database is what we call data. Apo, so data siya. So, in order for us to extract information from our tables, we intend to write queries that sometimes merges all the tables that are available. So, ginagawa natin to. So, what is the intention of creating a view? The intention of creating a view is like creating a temporary table. Okay? You are writing a query to represent temporary table. Instead of writing query that execute commands, or instead of writing query that merge those several tables, you write a query to create a temporary table that represents a record. In that function, the user will now access your view instead of accessing those several tables. So that's the purpose of view. Parang you create a query that summarizes the result, and that summary will be stored in a temporary table. And if ever the user on an application, or an application rather, access the records, dun na lang siya sa temporary table or sa view mag-access. Okay? So that's the purpose of view. Okay, so siguro hindi pa natin siya magagawa this time, but expect nyo, sa susunod nating subject like advanced database management, magagawa natin siya. Another is stored procedure. It's like a function in a program that automates the execution of data. So, yun, that is stored procedure. Let's say, for example, you try to delete a record, which is a table 1, and meron pala siyang relation sa isa pang table, and you want also to delete them. Once you delete a record here, automatically, you can execute command that deletes also the related data from another table. So, something like that. That is stored procedure. If you want to know more about this one, you can search this online. Try to Google this, stored procedure. Mas magkakaroon kayo ng idea kung ano ba talaga yung stored procedure. But this time, I'm not going to emphasize this one. Functions. So, the same sa paggamit natin ng function sa C++, you write function to create a separate block, like creating a function to execute a stored procedure, or a function to create a view, or view a particular view from a particular database. So, I think clear na siya. Okay? So, gets ba? Gets ba? Yung sinabi ko kanina? Gets po ba?
Yes, sir. May tanong lang po, sir.
Yes, Sid?
Last time, sir, so hindi naman po ako naka-attend, pero yung napanood ko lang yung sa recorded video. Yung function na yung undo, bakit hindi po ulit yan available?
Wala kasi tayong undo sa database. Once na nag-execute ka na, hindi mo na-undo. Let's say, for example, nag-delete ka ng data. For example lang, delete ka. Wala nang undo yun. What I mean is, wala tayong undo command. Unless, may ginagamit, when you execute kasi a single query, wala na tayong undo nun. But, we have a special execution, like, we can undo things if we use transaction. Meron kasi tayong transact. Ibig sabihin ng transact, several queries ang pwede mong execute at the same time. So, yun, pwede mong ang tawag natin doon is parang, nakalimutan yung keyword, yung parang undo siya na command, na yung action lahat ng action pwedeng ma-undo. Kaya lang, as of now kasi, hindi tayo pwede mag-undo pag single SQL command lang ang in-execute mo. Okay, let me demonstrate that one. Okay, let me demonstrate. For example, let's say for example, pili tayo ng database dito na sample lang para madali ko siyang okay. Okay, meron tayo ditong test. Okay, wait lang ha. Wala pala tong laman. Wait lang. Okay, hanap lang ako ng sample. For example, this one. So we have here a sample table, yung sample ko lang AA, kunwari lang ano. So, let's say we try to delete record from the table. Let's say the table name is AA. Sorry po sa naming convention na ginamit ko. This is just an example. Kunwari, delete ko yung laman ng table na to, yung AA mismo, where ID equals 0. So what this command do is delete the record which is equivalent to 0. So basically, we will be removing this item here. So when you execute this one row affected, ibig sabihin may na tanggal na record, tanggal na siya. Ang problema natin sa single command na to, wala na siyang undo. Hindi natin pwedeng undo to. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain in my module na when you execute command, wala na siyang undo. So paano natin mapiprevent or what we can do to, in case na merong na undo na delete, paano ma-undo yun? Number one solution is we can create a backup. Let's say we can perform sa database management system kasi when we perform command, may tinatawag tayong replication. Replication is like this. So let me explain that one, ha? Okay. Then, let's say you have a database para sa application mo, deployed siya sa isang location kung saan secured, okay, nasa ibang location siya. So when an application executes command, let's say yung computer mo sa isang branch, nag-perform ka ng command, nag-insert ka ng product, ang replication ang ginagawa niya, meron ka isang database na backup mo in case nagkaroon ng problema sa first database mo. So ginagawa natin yun for security purposes. Like for example, accidentally na-delete ni employee yung record. So, yung mga developers ang ginagawa niya, nire-retrieve lang yung backup. Kasi nga, once na nag-perform ka ng function sa database like delete, wala nang undo yun. Especially delete. Talagang wala ka na sa record. Kaya mapapansin nyo madalas, when we register in a particular platform like Facebook, once na nag-delete ka na or ang tawag natin dito, nag-deactivate or something or nag-delete ka ng comment, wala nang undo yun. Kasi totally removed na sa database. Okay, nakuha po yung point. Clear na po?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hopefully clear din sa iba. Ano po? Para kaya delikado hindi basta-basta yung kumbaga it requires tawag natin dito careful execution kasi magkamali lang tayo sa pag-execute ng mga commands like delete, wala nang balikan yun. Okay, so kaya nga very important sa mga app developer na yung mga command finifilter muna bago execute. Anyway, let's proceed. So aside from that, it allows user to set permissions. Halimbawa, there are several users that access the database. Meron tayong administrator, meron tayong company CEO, merong cashier. So, each of these accounts has permission kung ano lang pwede lang makita. Diba? Example, halimbawa, meron tayong application. Diba pag bumibili tayo sa LCC, hindi authorize ang cashier to void a particular item unless may authorization ni manager. Tama po ba? Have you encountered that?
Yes po, sir.
O, diba? Kasi hindi trabaho yun ni cashier eh. Ang trabaho niya lang is to record sold items. Pero hindi siya allowed to manipulate the price, anything. So we call that permission. So pwede mong iset sa user or sa database mo, ano yung mga particular user lang ang permitted to access, retrieve, or manipulate the data. So, yun yung isa sa mga advantage ng SQL command. Yung, set permission. Okay? So, yun. So, ganyan ka-powerful si SQL command. Okay? Kasi malay mo kung lahat ng user ang permission, lahat allowed. Diba? So, paano yun? Baka magkamali yung user, makapag-execute siya ng delete, wala, kawawa yung database mo. So, that's the reason why that's the reason why this permission exists in SQL commands. Okay? So, hopefully, naintindihan yung application ng SQL command. Okay? You can chat your comments or questions para mabasa ko naman if ever. Okay? Okay, so next, we have several types of SQL commands. Ito na. So, nalaman na natin, we already identify what SQL command is, what are the possible application, where do we apply them, why do we need to learn them, why is it we need to learn this one, especially if we are going to develop an application. So this time, let's identify the types of SQL commands. Okay, so we have actually 3 types of command. We have the data definition language, which is which I discussed kanina lang, yung pag-create, pag-drop, etc. Next is data control language. Ito naman yung pag-set ng restriction. And lastly, data manipulation. So, these commands varies depending on their usage. So, if you took a look at the diagram in our presentation, as you can see, they have different purpose. Okay, for data definition, we use this to define database, create a table. So that's why if we want to define the physical design of the table or the physical structure of the table, how many fields, how many columns, what type or what data type that we want to assign to a column, ginagamit natin is DDL. Okay? Pero ginagawa na natin siya sa SQL-Log, 'di ba? So when we define table, ginagawa na natin siya doon. Okay. Saan po ba yun sir makikita? Okay. Makikita yon pag nag-create kayo ng table, for example, buksan ko lang yung SailCoDB, select tayo ng isang table, let's say customers, pag tinignan yung info, doon yung makikita yung column, nandoon yung DDL command. Nakikita po ba? Nakikita po ba? Medyo maliit lang siya. Ay, sorry po. Nakaano pala. Okay. Nakikita na po ba? Ito, nasa baba. DDL information. Hindi ko na to pinagawa sa inyo. Hindi ko na siya tinuro kasi ano naman tayo, IDE. So, parang, I think, yun nga sinasabi ko a while ago. It's not practical to learn this anymore. But of course, may encounter nyo pa rin to sa mga future subjects nyo. But this time, hindi ko na siya pinagawa sa inyo. Kasi kaya naman gawin ng IDE na. Nakuha niyo yung point? Nakuha po yung point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, yun. So, yun yung tinatawag nating DDL, Data Definition Language. Okay? Pag-create, pag-drop, pag-define, anything about you can do to the table, DDL yun. Okay? Another is Data Control Language. Ito naman yung pag-set ng permission. Okay? How do we grant a particular user to access a particular record, etc. Okay? So, ang purpose naman ito is for security purposes. Para may restriction yung user in terms of getting the data coming from the user. Question, saan po ba siya nakikita? Di ba naalala nyo, nag-connect tayo sa database, sa SQL-Log. When we try to access our database from SQL-Log, di ba napansin nyo na user? Ito si root. Ito si root, user na siya ng database. Nagkataon lang, by default, si root may access sa lahat ng table. But you can create permission to a particular user. Ako, pag gumagawa ako ng application, nag-create ako ng user for me, user for my client. Kasi nga, hindi siya pwede mag-manipulate ng table. Ang gagawin niya lang dapat is mag-retrieve. Kaya, gumagawa ako ng separate user. Okay? Sa IDE, nagagawa na rin yan. If you take a look at or explore the options, pero dapat may caution kayo pag gumagawa nito. Tingnan niyo yung user manager. Ayan. So, these are the users. Ayan, meron tayong PMA, meron tayong root, etc. You can add or delete users. Be careful of deleting user, baka mamaya yung default ma-delete nyo. Wala na kayong access sa database nyo. Diba? So, siguro may separate tayo nito. Pagdating natin sa data, user management and security, discuss ko to. Okay. So, ngayon ang concern natin, dun muna tayo sa SQL command. Okay? Next, ito, ginagamit na natin so far, the DML command. So, as you can see in our diagram, DML is used for implementation only. If you want to access the data, retrieve information, insert data, remove data, you can perform DML commands like insert, update, delete, select, etc. Okay? So I hope you can now describe the difference between these three types of commands. DLL is used to define the table, the database, etc. DCL for permission, access, like restrictions. The DML is for manipulating the data coming from our database. So hopefully, clear na siya. Okay, so let's proceed. Next tayo. Okay, now let's start our discussion by understanding the DML and identify natin what can we do about DML. The first thing that we can do in DML commands, for SQL commands, is to select a record. Ito kasi yung madalas na ginagawa natin sa mga applications sa internet. When we access data from Google, nagre-research tayo, nagta-type tayo ng data sa internet. Let's say for example, siguro ang iba hindi ito madalas napapansin. For example, ito, gawa ko ng browser. Let's say Google. Okay. So, ang ginagawa natin pag nag-type tayo ng keyword, we call this keyword, what is database. Diba? Kulang ko ng T. Okay. When we do that, si Google, mapapansin nyo sa address bar, ito yung query niya, letter Q. Hindi ako sure kung na-visible sa screen nyo, readable siya, kasi ang iba naka-cellphone. Mapapansin nyo, meron siyang letter Q, what is database. Yung number 3F, yan yung question mark. Kung papalitan natin siya ng, let's say, information, ang lalabas dyan, based na doon sa information, ayan na siya. Mapapansin nyo, nag-send na tayo ng query. Kasi ang Google kasi, it's a collection of crawled website. So, ang ginagawa ni Google kasi, search engine siya. So, ang ginagawa niya, lahat ng tinatype mo sa Google, kinocrawl ng Google yan para ma-store sa database nila lahat ng keywords at lahat ng sources. So, once na na-encounter niya yung keyword nyo, hinahanap niya sa database niya kung saan yung website yung na-retrieve. So, kaya ang ginagawa ng Google, nag-retrieve din siya ng information sa database. Like this one, nag-query siya. So, ginagamit niya ngayon is select statement. Okay? And also, just like what we do in several applications. Diba? So, halimbawa, when we try to access information, so let me give you an example of a certain application. Okay. Para naman ganahan kayo mag-aral ng programming. Ano po? Kasi baka ang iba sa inyo, hindi masyadong na-appreciate para saan ba yung effort ko, bakit ako nag-aaral ng programming. Bakit kaya minsan, ang hirap niyong gawin. But definitely, pag nakuha nyo kasi, it's very fulfilling kasi, wow, nakagawa ko ng program. Diba? Yung parang, ganito pala yung program, ganito pala siya. So, let me give an example. Para ma-appreciate nyo naman. Okay? Na maganda pala mag-program. Mas especially pag may mga sinasagotan kang needs ng client. Lalo na kung may client ka na. Kasi, masarap sa feeling na nakagawa ka ng solution doon sa problema na na-encounter niya. Diba? Okay. Wait lang binubuksan ko lang yung application ko. And, ito ginawa ko sa C#. Siguro by next few semesters, baka ako ulit maging teacher nyo sa event-driven. So, gumagawa kami ng application in C# that allows the user to manage the data inside the database. Okay, wait lang. Ano po? Okay, medyo mabagal lang siya mag-retrieve, but hanapin ko lang kung nandun pa yung aking data. Okay. Okay, may error ako sa program ko. Wait lang. I-refresh ko lang yung aking references. Okay, wait for a moment ha. Kasi merong refresh ko lang yung aking reference. Okay, wait lang ha. Kasi maganda i-discuss to na may demonstration para alam nyo, di ba? Okay. Para nako-connect natin yung essence ng lesson doon sa ating topic. Kasi baka mamaya na di-disregard nyo. Okay, for example, I have a very, very simple application. Di ba? So, this is what a program looks like. So, siguro sa C#, pag nag-extend na tayo ng lesson sa mga advanced topic, so, ano bang essence ng SQL? Di ba meron tayong records? For example, I have record here of a supplier. Hinanap natin si Damao, something like that. So, as you can see, automatically, my program responds to what the user wants. Diba? Parang kagaya ng ginagawa natin sa department store, when a cashier scans the code from a product, automatically, lumalabas sa screen. The product information appears on the cashier screen, especially the price, and then nagtatype na siya ng kanyang quantity. Diba? So, example, nag-type ako ng Damal. Yeah. Pag click kong ganyan, wala siyang product. Hanap tayo ng ibang supplier na may product. Bryson. Okay, wala siyang... Okay, ito, si D&E Supply. Meron siyang isang product na in-offer. Games Bros. Ito, tatlo yung binibenta niya. So, as you can see, a program, literally, you write logic to implement what the user wants, and definitely if the user wants the data to appear in that particular application, you write query. So let me give you an example code for that. Okay, so asa na ba yun? Hanapin ko lang ha. Okay, so ito yung aking program sa C#. Okay, wag mo na kayong maano ha. What I mean is, baka matroma kayo. No, what I'm trying to say here, or to discuss here, is just the connection of our lesson. So, this is the program that I develop for a certain project. So, notice nyo, yung ginawa ko kaninang pag-type sa sa text box, ito na yung ginawa niya. In-execute niya yung select statement. Diba? So, hinahanap niya yung vendor name based doon sa keyword na tinype ko sa text box. So, yung text box 1, kinuha niya yung data doon, nilagay niya sa variable na keyword, at yun ang inilalagay ko sa SQL command para execute ng program ko. So, when that particular SQL command is sent to the database, i-retrieve ko na ngayon kung anong record ang na-retrieve niya. Then, ilalagay ko na siya sa tinatawag naming data grid para lumabas na siya rito. Kaya, ang result, pag nag-type ako ng keyword na okay, let me write a simple statement here. Okay, wait lang ha. Okay, let's say for example, isulat ko yung isulat ko sa let's say debug. Wala pala akong debug.print Wait lang. Okay, let's say using wait lang ha. Okay, display natin sa display natin sa system yung query na kasi nabasa niyo may background na sa may background na sa select statement. Gusto ko lang emphasize kung ano nangyayari. So, debug.print. Display natin yung SQL command na tig-send niya sa database. Okay? So, stop ko siya dito. Okay. So, yan. Okay. Asan yung display niya? Wala, hindi pa siya nagdi-display. Okay. Stop ko later muna. Wait lang. Asan na ba yun? Wala lang. Teka lang, hinahanap ko. Asan na yun? Wala. Ito na. Late lang. Okay. So, pag nag-type ako ng ito kasi ginagawa niya, pag type mo pa lang ng first letter, naghahanap na agad siya ng match. So, mapapansin rito, i-print natin sa baba. Okay, let me display the output screen. Ito. Okay, so dapat lumabas din yung keyword na tinype ko. Okay, let's say D. Okay, di ba naghanap na siya, may na-retrieve na siya. So notice niyo, ito na yung command niya. So select vendor name code from vendor where vendor name like letter D or contact like letter D. So this is the SQL command that sends sent to the database, and the database execute that command and returns the record. Okay, so ang ginagawa naman ng database nyo, ibalik natin sa SQL log, in-execute nyo na ngayon to. So retrieve natin ano po. Okay, palitin ko lang yung screen para makita ng iba. Okay, ito yung command na sinend ng aking application papunta sa database, execute natin sa database. So ito na siya. So as you can see, so na-retrieve yung data. Ito yung pinapasa ng database. So your database transmit these records to your application para yung application mo ma-display na sa user. Question, sir, di ba database, pwede naman pumunta yung user, ba't kapag gagawa ng program, bigay mo na lang yung database mo? No, it's a no-no, hindi pwede. Kasi once na meron na siyang access sa database, para na siyang hacker noon, para na siyang Diyos. Kasi may access sa data. Diba? Imagine, if Facebook allows us to access our database, ay nako, baka yung kaaway niyo nagkawala-wala na sa Facebook, diba? So, we have what we call DBMS that allows us to access the data instead of the database. Okay? Gets po? Kaya natin inaaral natin yung pag-create ng program, di ba? Para yung user, meron siyang tinatawag na interface doon sa data na minamanage niya. Okay? So, that's the relation of my topic to program development. Okay? So, very usable siya pag gumagawa ka na ng mga application that retrieves or manages data from the database. Okay? So, hopefully, nakuha niyo yung connection. Okay? Nakuha niyo yung relevance ng lesson natin. Bakit natin siya kailangang aralin. Okay? So, we have select statement. So, the select statement has the following syntax. So, by the way, select statement is used to retrieve data stored in one or more tables. So, the very basic syntax is select keyword followed by the column. The column is you try to identify what column you intend to retrieve and from where table that particular column came from. So, example, if you try to execute a command, let's say for example, let's say I have a database here called SailcoDB, which is we already have. So, select, the keyword select from. Okay, as you can see, my syntax, meron siyang all, meron siyang distinct. Later, may encounter natin distinct. Okay, pag sinabing all, you try to retrieve all. Okay, let's say customer. So, you're going to retrieve or display the records from customer, but you're going to retrieve all the columns. That's why it's asterisk. Okay, so when you execute that, F9, mariretrieve mo na yung record sa loob ng table. Okay? Ayan na siya. But your intention is to specify important column only, important to you or important to a particular request. Let's say, I just want to know the name and the last name. So, all you have to do is just provide the column. Okay, let's say customer or cost. By the way, when you type the column, make sure it actually pertains to the name of the field itself. So, how can I do that? So, punta kayo sa table, punta kayo sa table name, columns, all you have to do is to just copy the columns specified into that particular table. So, hindi pwedeng hindi nakalagay rito. Let's say, customer first name. Something like that. So, when you execute that, it will return an error. Why? Kasi there is no column that pertains to cost first name. So, make sure the field name is present in your table. So, let's say, for example, CS, let's say, customer, F name. Okay, comma, customer, L name. So, I just want to know the customer name and their particular phone number. So, phone, something like that. So, in this case, you try to limit the column of the result. So, if you execute that, you can use F9. Oops. May T pala. Sorry po. F9. Wala palang T. Sorry po. F9. Ayan. So, nandiyan na. So, you can now retrieve a specific column, but it returns, the database returns all the records coming from the database. Kung merong 1 million records doon sa database mo, i-retrieve niya yun. Kasi ang nire-refer lang naman ng column is, nire-refer lang naman ng select column name is just the column name of the table, not filtering the entire record. Okay? Okay, so, what if we can, what if, sir, we can, kasi when we retrieve information sa Facebook, magkasama yung first and last name. Pwede mong gawin to. Ito, dagdag ko na sa discussion ko. Concat. Yung concatenation. Ibig sabihin, pagsasamahin mo yung column. Okay? So, the first column, lagay tayo ng comma, space, para naman may space yung first name and last name, then comma. Something like that. Okay? Okay, so yun. So, iniwalay ko yung first, ito yung first column. It doesn't matter if you write your query multi-line. The purpose of writing your query multi-line is for readability purposes para madali mo siyang ma-recognize. So, I have this first column. So, ang ginawa ko, what I did, I merged column first name and column last name in one column. That's what you call concat. And in order for me to read or understand the contents, I create a separator, space separator. Okay, para lumabas, first name, space, last name. So, naggamit ako ng comma to separate each column or each data. And of course, this one. So, when you merge this one, let's see what will happen. So, as you can see, hopefully nakikita nyo agad, I have a unique column called full name. So, Alfred Ramas. So, this time, yung columns ko, pinagsama ko, naging full name na siya. But you notice, kung anong ginawa ko na command, yun yung nakalagay sa column name. You can assign name to this temporary column. You can use alias as, let's say, full name. Something like that. Okay, full name. Or if you have spaces, pwede mong i-separate kasi kailangan nating ng space. Baka hindi mo recognize sa SQL na one word sila. So, lagay tayo ng single quote kung may space separator yung name mo. Oops. Baka double to. No query. Kasi naka-highlight pala. Sorry, naka-highlight pala yung aking So, make sure walang naka-highlight when you execute. Ayan. So, notice no, naging bagong column na siya. So, full name and customer phone. Okay, so you can apply alias if you want. So, as phone, something like that. Okay. Question so far? Question?
Sir, none po.
Okay, so far none. So, the following keywords, discuss natin isa-isa later. Okay, so that's all about select query. Now, where clause. Sometimes, your intention is not to retrieve the entire records. Your intention is to identify the record that you need. Am I right? Di ba? Igawin na lang natin to asterisk. Kasi, we have different requirements. Okay? Let's say our clients require us to retrieve particular data. Let's say, for example, our client requires us to retrieve all the customers that has balance in our database. So, in this case, we have, let's examine this customer data. Pinagawa ko na ito sa inyo sa activity. For example, we have this one. So, mapapansin nyo, malalaman nyo kung may balance or with balance, a particular customer has a balance if the column cost balance is greater than 0. That's right, di ba? So, tama, no? So, as you can see, let's say si Smith, may balance siya kasi instead na 0, meron siyang 345.86. So, how can we display records based on a particular requirements? That's what we call filtering, di ba? So, that's the time we add a condition. We add the keyword where clause. We can put conditions. So I want to display all the column, but I just want to limit those record that has balance. So in creating condition, it's like creating a condition statement in a programming language. Okay, you just write the column and your condition to that particular column. In this case, our condition is to display, gawa tayo ng comment Okay, customer with balance. Okay. Ito, this is how you write comments nga pala. I failed or I forgot to mention sa module. Okay. So, to do that, you write the column kasi ang identifier natin to know that the customer has a balance, it is column. So, you write that column. Balance greater than 0. Diba? Okay. So, let's try. Execute. So, as you notice, we can now determine which customer has unpaid balance. So, not necessarily all records are displayed. So, it matches the criteria. So, we call this the criteria. Your criteria now is customer balance greater than 0. That's the purpose of where clause. You intentionally filter. The purpose of where clause is you try to filter. Okay, hindi siya nagano. Hindi kasi na-close. Yan. Ba't hindi siya na-comment? Okay. The purpose of where clause is to filter the rows returned by your query. Okay. Clear? Clear na po ba?
Opo, sir.
Okay.
Sir, excuse me po, sir.
Yes. See?
Di ba ano po yung where clause po? Yun, no, sir, meron po ba dyan ng if clause?
Meron. Kaya lang, iba yung implementation ng if statement. Iba yun. Necessarily, may if statement tayo actually. Actually, you can search on that in Google. But for now, what I'm trying to do right now muna is to filter lang muna using where clause. Basically, saan ba ginagamit yung if? If you remember siguro, nagkaroon kayo ng discussion sa Excel, di ba ganun? Ang purpose lang kasi ng if is special cases lang. But dito kasi, if you want to limit the number of rows returned, the number of records returned, you just use where clause. Okay? Basically, siguro na-encounter natin siya. Mga, siguro mga ibang subject siguro. Okay, so yeah. Thank you for that question. At least, I assume na ang iba medyo may alam at nagre-research talaga. Okay, so that's the primary purpose of where clause, to filter the records. Okay? Some of you might be confused. Sir, I know where clause is. What where clause is. I know what condition can be applied. But how can I apply a certain condition to a record? Yun kasi ang parating tanong. Let's say for example, let's do another example siguro. Last time na. Let's say for example, what if, sir, merong requirements, like what if we need to display those customer that are belong to a particular area code lang, diba? A particular area. So the first thing you need to do is to identify the requirements, the keyword area, diba? So hanapin mo siya doon sa table mo. Ang gawin mo muna, huwag ka muna maglagay ng condition or where clause. All you have to do is to write a simple query like select asterisk from. Yun lang. Then, examine mo yung table mo. Ngayon, based doon sa result, hanapin mo sa each column saan ko pwedeng magamit yung condition para mahanap ko yung criteria na hinahanap. Area code. So, saka ka nagagawa ng where clause. So, clause, area code. Anong particular area code ang hinahanap? Let's say, 713 daw. Di-type mo, 713. Yun ba ay equal? Greater than? So, if they say, dapat match, equal. So, yun. Then, execute. So, lahat lang ng area code, customers belong to area code 713, yun lang yung makikita. Okay? So, that's the basic process that you need to do. If you encountered a particular activity that requires a certain record, that, let's say, area code, etc., the first thing you need to do you display the record first so that you could examine the entire majority of data or the entire data and that columns present in that particular table. Second, look into the particular keyword doon sa question niya. Sabi niya, area code. So therefore, hanapin mo yung matching column niya doon sa table mo. And use that column name to write a condition and use relational operator, the logical operator if you want to combine multiple condition, and possible value that you are trying to look at doon sa data para mag-retrieve siya ng record. Okay? Clear? Clear po?
Clear.
Okay. So this is the right way to write where clause if you pertains or referring to a numeric equivalent, di ba? So pag numeric ganito. Sa case naman ng string iba. Let's say for example, hanapin nga natin kung meron tayong customer ni Smith, yung last name niya. So keyword last name, di ba? Last. Or L-name. L-name kasi yung column eh. So as you can see, column name is CUS underscore L-name. Try kaya natin Smith. Okay. So magkaiba yung syntax pag numeric and non-numeric like string ang hinahanap mo. Pag string or character, you use single quote. In some other databases or IDE, ginagawa niya double quotes. Okay, pwede rin yun. As long as nakuha mo yung right content, di ba? So as you can see, I use double quotes, I can use single quote if I want. So hindi naman siya ganun kapihikan. Okay, so as you can see, I have 2 Smiths in my customer record. Okay, so that's how you retrieve string coming from your table, di ba? Okay, now, what if hanap tayo ng date dito? Let's say for example, let's say invoice. Check natin yung invoice kung meron tayong date dito. Kasi very important to. Meron akong activity na date yung ni-retrieve eh. May na-check ng activity, ang iba mali yung pagkakasulat. Siguro, na-confuse lang sa paggamit ng greater than or equal saka less than or equal or greater than or equal sa greater than. Pag greater than or equal, inclusive yun. Ibig sabihin na inclusive, mag-start ka ng 1, let's say papuntang 5, kasama yung 1 saka 5 pag greater than or equal. Pero pag sinabi mong greater than, let's say greater than 5, mag-start siya ng let's say variable, kunwari ganyan So, pag sinabi mong var greater than 5 ang hinahanap mo, mag-i-start siya ng 6. Hindi siya mag-i-start ng 5 kasi greater than ang relational operator mo. Pero pag sinabi mong greater than equal, mag-i-start siya ng 5. Tapos naglagay ka pa ng n, var less than equal to 10. Hinahanap mo talaga, inclusive yun. 5 to 10. Yun ang hinahanap mo, from 5 to 10. Pero pag sinabi mo kasi na greater than 5 and less than 10, ang hinahanap mo from 6 to 9. So, magkaiba result nun. Kahit saan kurto tayo mapunta, magkaiba result nun. Okay? So, kaya may mga, may na-checkan ako doon na na-confuse siguro. Okay? So, yun. Let's say invoice. Okay, ito na. Teka lang. Invoice, tama ba spelling ko? Baliktad kaya pala. Okay. Oops, yun naman. Okay, invoice. F9. Okay, so I have your record. So what if date naman tayo. So let's try to retrieve tayo ng sabihin na natin transaction na nangyari nung January 3. January 17. Let's say 2008. Ganyan madalas kasi ang client or let's say ang user mo hindi naman marunong sa format na ganito sa database kasi ang nakakaalam lang ng database tayo lang naman kasi tayo yung IT eh. Tayo may knowledge, skills sa database. Yung customer natin pag sinabi mo, alam mo yung format na tapos database etc. Hindi nila alam yun, tayo lang nakakaalam nun. So, pag sinabi nila, hanapin mo yung record ng mga transactions sa invoice na nangyari noong January 17, 2008, kagaya ng sinabi ko kasi na processes, first, you must identify the column that pertains to date. Ito yun, invoice date. So, sa query mo, where INV, V rather, date, kasi yung column name. So sabi mo, dapat mag-match siya sa January 17, but you cannot use this format because that is not the right format that the data is stored in your database. The format is different, rather different from the query question. Ano po? So, we need to follow the format inside the database. So, in this case, our format is like this. You start with the year, dapat 4 na digits yun, dash, followed by day, followed by, month muna pala, sorry, followed by day. Ganyan. So, dapat, ang pagsulat mo, ganun ba ng format? Kagaya ng nakikita mong data dito, okay lang na hindi kasama yung hours. Okay, so, 2008, followed by, single digit, pwede. 1, a month pala yun, ano? Month and day, 17, ano? 17. So, basically, exact date, okay, you are retrieving all invoices from January 17, 2008. So, when you run that, yun lang may filter. Gets na po? Gets? Gets?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. How about yung iba? Dalawa lang nagre-reply. Anyway, so, siguro if
Po, sir. Nagets na po.
okay, siguro yung iba, if still nako-confuse kayo, balikan yung recording. Pag in-upload ko na siya, rewatch the recording as many as you can. Kasi I think, ano naman to, clear naman yung discussion based on the response. Okay? Now, let's continue. So, ganun lang naman. Pag date, ganyan, may single quote sa kapag string. Pag numeric, wala. Okay? So, stick lang tayo muna sa lesson. Okay. How about or and or clauses? Okay. So, yeah, it's like what we do in if statement sa programming languages in C++. And operator and or operator used to combine multiple conditions, ano po, or multiple criteria sa conditions. Ang and, you are trying to write a query that match the two conditions. Okay, for example, let's say, hanap tayo ng data. So, for example, meron pala example dito para hindi na ako mahirapan. Okay. So, used to combine multiple conditions to narrow data in a SQL statement. That operators are called as the conjunctive operators. So, yun. For example, ginagamit natin yung or, and, okay. If we have two conditions, so for example, we have this data. Okay. So, this is just an example data, ha. So, our criteria is, we are looking for records coming from this database that match the criteria. Salary is greater than 2,000. So, dapat ang salary niya is 2,001 and above. At ang age niya is less than 25. So, as you can see, it returns two records. Why these two records are retrieved? Let's check. Si Ramesh ba ay may salary na greater than 2,000? Wala. Ang age niya ba ay less than 25? No. So, hindi siya nag-match. And so on and so forth. Ganun siya mag-match. So, masasabi natin tama to because si number 6, 22 is less than 25. Yes. At greater than 2,000 ang salary niya. So, that is correct. And number 7, ganun din. 24 ang age niya, which is less than 25. At ang salary niya is greater than 2,000. So, as you can see, so bakit ganun? There are also records that are match the criteria. Like, for example, this one, yung record number 3, ang age niya is 25. Pero ba't hindi siya lumabas? Pag gumagamit ka kasi ng end operator, these two must be satisfied. Dapat both of this condition must be true. That is the condition of end operator. This condition must be satisfied para ma-retrieve yung tamang record na hinahanap mo. Okay? Gets? I think you are familiar with this one already pag ginagamit yung end operator. Okay? So, yun. And be careful of using the relational, baka mamaya inclusive. Pag sinabing inclusive, kasama yung sa condition mo. Example ito. Ito kasi hindi kasama yung 2,000, greater than ang hinahanap niya. Okay? Okay. Or operator. Ito naman. So, you have the same record, but notice nyo, or, this time, ang daming lumabas. Why? Pag ginagamit kasi yung or, either of the condition 1 and condition 2 must be true. So, kahit sino dito mag-true, okay na. Okay, kahit sino dito mag-match. That's why mapapansin nyo, eto, si number 3 record, nag-match. Why? Kasi, si number 2, okay, may nasatisfy sa kanya. Diba? Yung age, nasatisfy niya yung age na hinahanap sa criteria. Kahit hindi greater than 2,000 yung salary niya, pero nasatisfy niya yung less than 25. And that's the difference between or and and. Or operator only requires one condition must be true. Kahit isa lang mag-true, okay na sa kanya. Unlike and, both condition or several condition must be true. Okay? I think familiar na kayo dyan. So, no need to emphasize anymore. Okay? So, that's the difference between the two. Okay? So, I guess clear na siya. Okay, ito. This is something new. How about like operator or like clause? The SQL like clause is used to compare a value to similar values using wildcard operators. So, saan ba ito, sir, madalas ginagamit? Okay, ganito. Ganito kasi. Minsan, may nga tinatanong kasi yung customer or client. Let's say, punta tayo sa customer. Kunwari dito tayo ng record. Okay. Minsan, may hinahanap siyang record. Nagtatanong sa'yo, pahanap nga sa record ng customer natin kasi hindi ko matandaan yung exact na pangalan niya. Basta ang alam ko, natatandaan ko sa last name niya, meron siyang letter S sa unahan. Ganon. Di ba madalas ganon? Di ba? Hindi mo alam yung exact. Kasi pag sinabi mo exact, pag nag-work class ka, let's say, cost, last name, or L name pala, sorry. Pag sinabi mo kasi Smith, your intention to identify the exact record that match the criteria of Smith from the last name, di ba? That's why it retrieves Smith. Eh, what if hindi mo natatandaan yung eksaktong word na hinahanap mo? That's the time na hindi ka gagamit ng equals. Gagamit ka ng like. Yung equals, exact match. Ito, ang hinahanap mo, yung match ng particular wildcard mo. Parang criteria based siya, pero hindi eksakto, but yung alike lang. Let's say, for example, hinahanap ko lahat ng customer na may letter S sa harapan ng kanilang mga pangalan. So, ginagamit is wildcard %. Ibig sabihin, yung first letter is letter S, the rest, any characters na siya, kahit ilang words or letters pa yan. Okay? F9. Ay, sorry, nag-highlight pala ako. Okay, F9. So, lahat ng letter S, first letter ng last name nila, ima-match niya yun. Let's say, for example, about letter D. F9. Ayan. Okay. How about, sir, lahat ng record na may letter A sa pangalan niya. It's either sa beginning, sa end, sa gitna, basta lahat may letter D. So, I'm using wildcard %, and I write the letter in the middle para ibig sabihin ng wildcard na to, lahat ng letter, it's either gumitna man yung A, sa unahan man siya, or dulo, hahanapin niya yan. Okay? So, notice, ayan. So, lahat ng may letter A, sa gitna, sa dulo man yan, i-retrieve niya yan. Gets na? Okay. So, let's examine the keyword. In-explain ko na example, ano? Okay. So, there are two wildcards used. The first keyword, wildcard is %. What does it represents? 0, 1, or multiple characters. So, pag hindi mo alam kung parang letters, yung nagre-represent sa data na yon, but alam mo lang yung first letter or more, pero the rest is hindi na, you write %. Just like what I did. Pag underscore, you actually know exact number of character. Okay? alam mo yung exact character niya. Halimbawa, let's say for example, basta alam ko, sir, nag-start siya ng letter S. Okay, letter S siya. Pero, ang alam ko parang 5 characters lang yung pangalan niya. So, 5 ang underscore susulat ko at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, bali 5 characters na sila. So, lahat ng last name na merong 5 characters na last name pero nagsisimula sa letter S. Okay? F9. Ayun. Oh, nag-match siya. How about 5 characters? 6 characters nagsisimula sa letter S. Wala. Kasi wala namang record na nagmamatch sa criteria. So, that's where wildcard used. Yung like, if you want to use wildcard searching or query, use like operator. Okay? Gets na po? Okay. For further example, meron akong example dito. Example number 1. So, if you want to find any values that starts with 200, ayan, starts with 200 followed by the wildcard. Okay? If you want to find any values that have 200 in any position, nasa gitna yung keyword mo. Ayan. Nasa gitna siya. Kasi any position mo sa ilalagay. So, yun ang purpose ng percent. Okay? If you want to find any values that have 0, 0 in the second and third position, okay, second and third position, may ganito ang keyword niya. Second and third position, kasi nga, yun ang purpose mo, tapos any particular preceding numeric or character, mapapansin niyo merong first character na underscore. Kasi nga, ang hinahanap mo, nasa second and third position yung 2 0. Okay? Eksakto, third and second position lang. Okay? So, ganun. Okay, balikan nyo lang itong example ko sa video pagka nalilito pa rin kayo. Another example, if you want to find any values that start with number 2 and are at least 3 characters in length. At least means 3 or more, ha? So, ito yung keyword. Nag-start sa number 2. Okay, and then, you're looking for at least 3 characters. Ayan. At least 3 characters. Pero yung last characters, you are not familiar kung ano yung mga character na yun. So, you can use this keyword. Find any values that end with number 2. So, notice nyo, nasa unahan yung percent, nasa dulo yung gusto mong exact na mag-match. Okay? Find any values that have 2 in the second position. Second position and end with 3. Ayan, kagaya nito. Tanong, sir, pwede ba yan sa date? Pwede. Pwede ba sa number? Pwede. Pwede po ba sa string? Definitely yes. Okay, halimbawa, sige, try natin para fair. Halimbawa, try natin sa invoice na. Sa invoice. Okay. Sir, hanapin nga natin yung invoice na nangyari last, siguro sabihin na natin, paano ba? Lahat kasi ito 2080. Hanap tayo ng ibang database, ha? Okay. Kasi para, ito, ibang database to. So, I have here, ito, madaming data to. So, maganda to. This is in Wind. Okay, so, punta tayo sa orders. Okay, ano yung data niya? Display natin. F9. Okay. Sabihin na natin, hanapin natin lahat ng data. Let's say, ito, madami to. This is, parang records to. This is 800 records. Sabihin na natin 1998. Okay. Kasi hindi tayo masyadong conscious sa date. Basta nangyari, transactions na nangyari last 1998. Okay? So, this is the order date. So, syempre, gamitin natin yung column ng order date. Okay, like. Okay. So, sa keyword natin, syempre, 1998. So, gawin na natin ganyan. Ibig sabihin, since ang order date natin o ang format ng date natin nagsisimula sa year, so, ito na yung keyword natin para doon. So, let's execute the entire query. Ayan. Okay. F9. Okay. What happened? Wala atang 1998. 1996. Mukhang wala eh. Ayan. So, mapapansin nyo, lahat ng result, lahat ng order date nangyari 1996. Ayan. I think this is the very, alternative siguro. Okay. Pero may ginagamit kami na, tamang query para dito. Kung year lang talagang gusto mo mangyari, eto, ginagawa namin ganito, year. Ganyan. Dagdag ko na rin since nabanggit ko na rin. Kung gusto mo eksakto talaga, anyway, importante dito, yung result mag-match. Ayan. So, as you can see, ang ginawa ko, kasi sa year kasi, pwedeng ganito. Pwede kang gumamit ng year, pwede nyo hanapin to sa pwede nyo hanapin sa Google to. Pwede kang maghanap ng month. Okay. Patayot. Yan. Pwede mong gamitin si month. Okay. At pwede mong hanapin day. If I'm not mistaken, day din. But, importante lang naman yung year sa month. Okay. So, balik tayo sa gamit ng like. Okay. Okay. Okay, like. Ano ba? Paano ba? Let's say, ano ba? Ano ba naman? Ano pa hanapin natin? Let's say, for example, customer ID. Sige, Sir, baka may gusto i-suggest.
Pagkabasa nun, sir, freight ba yun po, sir?
Ha?
Freight po, sir.
Fright.
Freight, okay. Kasi may decimal po kasi, so na-curious lang ako.
Kung may decimal, pwede mong ilagay na lang sa Let's say, for example, kung may decimal siya, pwede mo naman lagyan ng keyword. Like, gusto mong may decimal, hinahanap mo lahat ng data na may decimal, maglagay ka ng ganyan, tapos decimal, ganyan. Or, depende sa'yo. Anyway, basta ganito, you have to understand that using like, you just try to, parang, you try to use wildcard to narrow the search criteria, or parang, widen the search criteria rather, parang magkaroon ka ng maraming option. Kasi pag ginamit mo kasi equal, hinahanap mo kasi exact eh. Diba? Alam mo ba, hinahanap mo Rama. Diba? Rama. Pero hindi mo alam na pag ginamit mo pala to, hindi naman pala Rama yung lumalabas sa last name niya. Ramas pala siya. So, using wildcard allows you to expand the search result. So, you just write like this one. So, any last name na merong Rama sa harapan, so parang ganyan. Okay. So, that's the purpose of using like. Pang wildcard siya. Okay. Searching. Anyway, let us continue kasi mahaba tayo rito. Okay. Order by. Ito naman, if you want to return the result in order manner, you can use order by. Ito, lumalabas na siya, di ba? So, yun. Order by. Ina-arrange mo lang naman yung result. So, for example, kasi minsan, hindi masyadong let's say for example, display natin lahat ng orders. Okay, where order date. Okay. Order date, tama Order date. Let's say okay, gawin na lang natin ito. Country. Let's say USA. And gusto natin yung customer ID naka-arrange siya into alphabetically arranged customer ID. So by default, pag naglagay ka ng order by, automatic ascending na siya. So when you write order by, you identify which column that you want to sort. Let's say for example, we want to sort the result by customer ID. So, F9, sorry, wala ata akong country. Ano pa nakalagay doon? So, yun. Ship country. sorry. Ship country. Okay, ayan. Ayan na siya. So, notice nyo, nag-alphabetical arrange na siya. So, nag-start yung result ko sa letter G kasi wala naman natang letter A doon na country na. But anyway, all you have to do is to write order by. Okay, you can use the keyword as sending. Di sila naman ang result kasi ascending na siya. With or without ascending na siya. Descending means, yun, mag-start siya ng letter Z pababa. Ayan. So, descending. Reverse the result. You can also use this sa date, order date. If you want to arrange the order by date, okay. Ganyan. So, na-arrange na siya. Diba? Ayan. So, by order date na siya. Okay. Pwedeng descending, yung pinaka-latest ang lalabas, descending yun. So, ano yung pinaka-latest na order? 1996, June 5, 1996. Followed by May 31, 1996. So, yun, naka-arrange na siya. You can also specify, tawag natin dito, multiple columns. Let's say, when you specify multiple columns, let's say, try natin, let's say, required date. So, required date. Yan, gusto mo naman ascending siya. Diba? So, ascending. So, pwede yun. Merge mo lang. Kaso, hindi natin ma-point kasi unang-una tig-sort na sa by date. Okay. Siguro pwede mong gamitin to sa mga pangalan. Let's say, naka-alphabetical range yung last name, tapos naka-ascending din yung, mga ganun. You can specify multiple columns if you want. May mga, kasi, may mga particular record kasi na pwede mong gamitan ng multiple arrange na, column by column. Okay? But at least you can perform that. Okay? So, that's the purpose of, writing or using order by. It automatically, or you can actually sort. It doesn't filter the result, Again, where clause is to use to filter the result. Nililimit mo yung result mo. Diba? But order by, ina-arrange mo lang. Sinusort mo lang. Ascending or descending. Okay? So, yun. Next. Okay? Kasi medyo mahaba na tayo. Baka maubusan tayo ng oras. Okay. Ito naman, example. Okay. So, descending order by name. Ayan. Descending, nag-start sa letter R. Okay. Okay. Ito naman, ang tawag naman natin dito is aggregate function. Count, sum. Kasi pwede ka mag-perform ng calculation. Okay. Example. Count, meaning, binibilang mo yung ilang rows. Sum, parang Excel, tinototal niya lahat ng columns. By the way, ang nagre-return lang dito isa. Okay. Isang record lang. Hindi multiple rows, Average, pag sinabing aggregate function, nagre-return lang siya ng isang record. Kasi nga, sinasummarize niya na. Okay? Okay, let me try that one for you para malinaw sa inyo. Okay, sabihin na natin orders ulit tayo. Okay? So, display natin yung orders. Ngayon, ang sabi ng manager mo, ng boss mo, Elvin, gawin na lang natin example, Lian, kasi yung nasa unahan. Lian, can you provide me a list or can you calculate the total orders last 1994 August 4? So, how can you do that? Napakadali lang po gawin yan. Sorry, ganito lang po ginagawa ko. So, all you have to do is to make a criteria first. Okay, where? Order date. Okay. Equals. So, syempre, yung keyword natin yung 1994, nangyari nung August 8, August 4. Diba? Something like that. 4. So, yun muna gawin natin. So, F9. Ayan, nandiyan na yung order, diba? Nandiyan na siya. Since naka-asterisk ako, lahat ng kukunti lang pala. Meron ba dito? Hanap tayo ng marami kasi dapat i-total natin siya. Okay, ganito lang gawin natin. Lahat nangyari nung August na lang. Gawin natin ganyan. Okay, para any date, pero dapat nangyari nung August. Okay, retrieve natin siya. Wala. Ano nangyari? Wala tuloy. 1994, 08, order date, blah, blah, blah. Okay, try natin. Check natin yung data kung bakit wala. Meron naman. Sorry. Equal pala. Like dapat. Sorry. Nakalimutan ko. Like pala dapat pag gagamit ang wildcard. Sorry po. Okay. Ayan. So, try na natin. Lalabas na yan. Malamang sa malamang. Lalabas na yan. Hindi pa. Like. Ano nangyari? Where? Like. 1994. Check natin sa data. Meron naman. Actually, meron tayo. Marami. Anong nangyari?
Sir, required po ba na may semicolon po yung dulo?
This one? Opo, kasi string siya eh. Close nyo yun eh. String siya. Okay, try natin ulit. Order date. Wala. Wait lang. Something fishy about this. Di ba na-try natin to kanina? Try natin 2 characters. F9. Okay, kaya siguro hindi dito effective, no? Kasi hindi eksaktong hinahanap natin. Kasi yung 8 natin, ina-assume natin na August siya. Wala siyang lumalabas. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi sa record natin may 08 siya. 'Di ba? So lagyan natin ng 0. Kaya ganun siguro. Kasi hindi siya nagmamatch sa first exact criteria natin. So, try natin. F9. Ayun na siya. So, ngayon, ang gusto natin gawin, i-retrieve natin yung... May total ba rito? Walang total. Okay, gawin muna natin yung count. Okay? Count muna siguro. Diniscuss na ba yung count? Okay, count. Count muna tayo, Okay. Ngayon, bilangin natin, ilan customer ba ang nag-order nung last gawin natin asterisk na lang. Andre, ilang customers ba ang nag-order last August 1994? So, yun ang purpose ng count. Binibilang mo lang. Okay. Sir, ano pala siya? 22 orders meron noong August 1994. Okay. Gets na po. Gets. Okay, gets na po. So, ganun lang po ang implementation ng count. Another, halimbawa, bilangin natin lahat ng orders. Walang criteria. Lahat ng orders, bilangin natin count. So, meron tayong 830 orders. Okay, so kung apply naman natin, apply tayo. Let's say criteria ulit. Ilan yung orders na na-ship natin sa Mexico? Okay, so since bibilangin natin yung sa Mexico lang, so ship country. So, where ship country equals, so this time, may eksakto na tayong criteria. Mexico, something like that. Okay, F9. So, lahat ng orders natin na na-ship sa Mexico ay 28 lahat. Something like that. So, as you notice, sabi ko nga, when you use aggregate function, isang record lang lalabas. Pero pwede kayo mag-incorporate ng let's say country, ng several columns. Pero isang record lang talaga lalabas dyan. Textman. Diba? So, country, meron tayong 28 na ship. Okay. Next is sum. Okay. Sum, total. Total na, sum paano? So, how do we do that? Balik tayo dito sa order details kasi dito magandang tingnan to. Kasi nga, dito mas nakikita natin yung mga amount. Kasi masarap i-compute yung amount. Order _ details. Ayan. So, F9 natin. Ayan. Walang lumabas. Baliktad. Mali spelling ko. Excited. Okay. So, what if we want to select a particular order? Let's say, piliin lang natin yung particular order ni customer. Where order ID equals 10 to 50. So, yan. So, nagpili lang ako So, ang gusto nating mangyari, ito total natin yung lahat ng orders niya. So, parang ang tendency natin i-sum natin yung 10, 35, and 15. Okay? So, ganun. So, let's do that. So, to do that, okay, so sum, keyword natin na sum. Okay. Sum. Lagay ba natin yung order ID? Order ID, comma, sum. Ngayon, ilalagay mo na dito yung column na isasum mo. So, quantity, sorry po. Quantity. Ayan. So, in this case, in your keyword sum, gawin natin, let's say, as total, para may tamang ano siya, column name. So, dito, you try to compute the total of 10, 35, and 15. So, let's try to run. Ayan. So, yung total orders niya is 60 items. See? So, yun ang aggregate function na sum. Again, isang column, isang record lang ang kanyang nire-retrieve. Mapapansin niyo, walang multiple records dyan. Kasi nga, since nag-aggregate ka, lahat ng records doon, tig-isa niya lang. Tapos, kinumpute niyo yung sum. Ganun din sa average. Okay? So, lagay mo lang AVG, average order, ayan, 20. Yun ang average niya. But, para mas magkabuluhan yung average na yan, ang gawin natin, i-compute natin lahat ng, sabihin na natin ganito, okay. Ano ba yung average unit price ng mga orders nila? So, gawin natin ganito So, tanggalin na natin to. So, average orders. Okay, so notice nyo, dapat maglagay tayo ng single quote para makonsider ng SQL na one word lang siya. Separated by comma. Okay, parang ganun. Parang variable or caption name. Now, we'll be trying to calculate the average amount of all the orders. So, F9. Ayan. So, majority sa mga orders, nag-a-average sila lahat ng 22.3 ng mga prices. Ganon. Okay? Gets na po? That's the purpose of applying aggregate. Mamaya may gagamit pa tayo nito later. So, that's the purpose of using the count, sum, average. Okay? So, example, so you try to count how many products belong to category number 1, etc. Another, ito naman, you're trying to calculate how many mail. Try natin to. Hanap tayo ng customer dito. Okay, hanap tayo ng customer. Ito maganda. Halimbawa, bilangin natin, per country naman. Bilangin natin na where country equals, let's say, USA. So, bilangin natin. So, count natin kung ilan ang customer coming from Mexico, USA. Ayan. F9. Oops. Meron akong mali sa where clause. Sabi dito, country. Check natin kung tama ang aking naisulat na tama naman. Dapat pala customer. Sorry po, customers. Table. Ayan. So, meron akong 13 coming from Mexico. So, yan. That's the use of that. Okay. So, yun. Next. Okay lang. Proceed tayo. So, average, ito. Average ng mga meal. Okay. Ito, group by. Ito. The group by statement groups rows that have the same values into summary rows. Like, for example, finding the number of customers in each country. Okay, let's try to apply this one. Let's try to retrieve all the customers muna para malinaw sa inyo. Let's say, for example, display natin yung company name. Let's say, company name. Let's say country muna, country. Okay, then, company name. Ngayon, gawin natin, arrange natin siya by country, alphabetically arrange, di ba? So, country. So, let's say, oops. Ngayon, Argentina, I have 3 companies. Austria, I have 2. Belgium, etc., etc., and so on. Now, ano yung purpose ng group by? Mapapansin nyo, as you notice, there are countries data here that are the same but different company. But what if our intention is like this? Ang gusto natin mangyari, we want to display the country and display natin yung number of companies meron for each country. Nakuha yung point? Number of companies. Di ba? Companies. Parang ganyan. Kung meron man, something like that. So, display tayo ng country and then, ilang companies meron sa country na yan. Sa count kasi, hindi natin magagawa yun basta-basta because ang ginagawa kasi ng count, we just merge all the columns tapos, binibilang natin siya. But if we use group by, we can eliminate duplicate values and group them as one. That's the purpose of group by. Okay, so let's try that. So, gawin natin group by. Okay. So, balikan natin yung syntax niya. So, as you notice, nauna ang group by sa order by ha. Okay. So, group by. So, group by natin siya by country. Okay. Okay. Ngayon, bilangin natin kung ilang company yun. Count. Okay. Company name. Nagets po ba? So, ibig sabihin ito, i-group natin siya by country at bibilangin natin kung ilang companies meron for each country. Gets? Okay, so let's try to run this one. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, sa Argentina, I have 3 companies there. Austria, 2. So, as you can see, this is very important. Why? Because you can easily get summary of a particular result. Let's say, for example, we want to count how many males and females. Pwede yun. Diba? Parang sa ano? Parang sa Excel, nagkakaroon kayo ng summary of result. Ilan dito yung may 75 na grade? Ilan yung may age na ganito? So, you can do that easily with group by. Okay. Again, group by merges all. Or as in, from the keyword itself, it groups the same column. Okay. Then you can integrate, count, average, sum, etc. Okay? So, let's try another example. Let's try natin sa order details ulit. Para naman, So, let's retrieve asterisk from order underscore details. Okay? Now, yan, magta-time na tayo. Maubos na yung pera nyo sa load. Okay, ngayon, halimbawa ganito. As you notice, meron dito, order by natin. Order by order ID. Okay. So, as you notice, meron dito mga order ID. Mapapansin nyo, the same kasi isa lang tao ng order nito, pero iba-ibang product item, di ba? Ganyan. Di ba? Okay. Ngayon, ang gusto nating mangyari, ilan ang order ID 1024.8, ilan naman ang order ni 1024.9, and so on. So, ang gagawin nyo, itype nyo muna ng order ID, okay, comma, and then, bibilangin natin. Gawin nyo order ID muna, then, let's say, count, okay, pwede natin gamitin asterisk or just put order ID, okay, pwede yun. Okay, kasi nga, binibilang mo lang naman tong parehas na to. And then, group by. By the way, I'm capitalizing the keyword para hindi nakakalito if ever na ano yung keyword, ano yung field lang. Group by, order, ID. So, let's try. So we are going to group according to order ID, then bibilangin natin yung number of orders niya. Okay, or number of transactions or product regardless of quantity. Sa order na to, ilang products ang na-order niya? Okay. F9. So notice mo, sa order ni 10, 24, 8, tatlong products ang orders niya. Regardless of quantity yun kung sa product number 1, perang quantity yun, product number 2, basta meron siyang tatlong klase ng products na in order. Okay, so ganun yung summary niya. Okay, so yun. So total orders. Something like that. Okay. Sabi doon sa ating PowerPoint presentation, pwede mo siyang gamitin sa max, mean, sum, average. So, ganito gawin natin. Okay. Paano kung ganito? Asterisk uli natin, ano? Tanggalin ulit natin to, i-comment natin to. Oops. Ayan. Ngayon, asterisk natin. Okay. Saan ba siya madalas ginagamit yung group by? Kasi hanggang ngayon, ang alam ko pa rin, wala. Nagka-count lang. In your experience, when do we use that operation? Okay. Ako madalas ginagamit ko sa ganito. Pag gumagawa ko ng program, let's say for example, gawin natin to. Kunwari, buksan natin yung order ni 10. Order ID equals 10, 24, 8. Okay, something like that. So, lahat ng order ni 10, 24, 8, oops, keyword ko, dapat una siya. Okay, so, di ba meron siyang order? Ngayon, gawin natin ganito. Let's say, for example, mapapansin nyo, wala ditong total na computation, correct? Wala, di ba? So, ito ganito. We try to order ID. Okay. Gawa tayo ng simple calculation lang. Okay. Product ID. Kama. Unit price. Kama. Quantity. Kama. Okay. Huwag na natin isama yung discount Ngayon, ito gagawin ko. In this particular example, I'm going to calculate how much each product should be paid by the customer. So, gawin natin ganito. Unit price, okay, multiplied by quantity. So, parang kinocompute mo. Yung presyo ng product na to, number 11, is 14 pesos. Kunwari lang, bumili siya ng 12. So, basically, ang total na babayaran niya is 12 times 14. Yun yung magiging total na babayaran niya. Gets po? Gets? Tama po ba? Tama po ba? Nagets po? Hello? May estudyante pa ba ako? Hello? Hello?
Still reading.
Okay. Okay, so ang ginagawa natin dito is, mapapansin nyo, meron siyang in-order na product, meron siyang price, meron siyang quantity, and we want to display the subtotal of each product ordered. Diba? So, ito, meron akong ginawa. So, para ma-compute ko yung subtotal, unit price times quantity. Okay? So, try natin. Ay, sorry po. Quantity, meron ba akong mali? Check natin, quantity, spelling. Sorry, ma'am. F9. So, as you can see, so yung binili ko ng product number 11, ang cost niya, subtotal niya is 168. Because when you multiply 14 to 12, equivalent siya ng 168. Nagets niyo po? Nagets? Nagets ba?
Yes, sir. Magiging permanent na po. Yan.
Hindi siya permanent. Temporary lang siya. Kumbaga, sir, bakit ganon? Bakit hindi na lang naglagay ng column sa table ng subtotal tapos i-type niya? Yun yung parating, tanong, bakit sir, kailangan i-compute pa, pwede namang ilagay? Ganito kasi yun. Paano kung nagpalit ng presyo yung product? The same pa rin ba yung total niya? Siyempre, hindi na. Correct ba ako doon, Sid? Kasi yung price kasi natin hindi naman constant. Yung presyo last year, iba na presyo ngayon. Paano kung iba presyo this time? So, para maging dynamic siya, parang yung presyo ginagawa sa Excel, hindi nyo nilalagay yung total exactly na nag-compute ka sa calculator, tapos tinatap nyo yung total. Ang tawag dito is dynamic data. Pag sinabing dynamic data, yung outcome ng result, nagdidepende sa kung anong pwedeng result ng calculation mo when you perform computation. Nagets po ba? Baka nakakalito na to sa inyo. Okay lang. Nagets po ba? This is just temporary column. You just add temporary column para magkaroon ng mas better result yung display mo sa user. Ang ginawa mo, nag-display ka ng additional column called total. Para meron sa subtotal kagaya nito. Okay lang? Clear ba? Ganito kasi yan. Ganito explain ko po sa Microsoft Excel. Okay. Parang ang nangyari ganito. Teka lang Tinitingnan ko lang kung pwedeng makopya to. Parang hindi. Wala eh. Okay, copy data natin. Copy cell data to all rows to clipboard. Okay. So, yun. Okay Okay, paste ko siya dito Ayan. So, ayan, di ba? Okay, ngayon. Nakikita po ba yung table sa Excel? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Okay. So, normally, di ba wala ito? Di ba wala ito? So, di ba yung minsan ginagawa natin? Pinapagawa tayo sa Excel. Computin mo yung mga order ni customer letter A. So, ginagawa mo ngayon, makompute ka sa calculator. Di ba? So, ito na, nakompute mo. Okay. Ito na ngayon. Sir, ito na po yun. Ay, hindi. Kasi iba presyo niyan 2 years ago. Di ba? So, ang presyo niyan dati ay 10 pesos. Tanong, is this still accurate? Is this still accurate? This one? Accurate pa ba to? Yes or no? Actually, hindi na. Kasi when you multiply 10 to 12, hindi na siya 168. Kaya ang pinapagawa sa inyo sa Excel, pinapagawa ko ng formula. Correct? Correct ba? Tama po ba? Nag-error ang aking Excel. Tama po ba yung interpretation ko ng pinapagawa sa inyo sa Excel? Di ba ganyan pinapagawa sa inyo? Di ba?
Yes, opo, sir po.
Di ba? Para maging dynamic siya. Kasi kahit magpalit siya ng presyo, gawin mo man itong 100, ang result ng subtotal, accurate pa rin. Ngayon, anong relevance ng explanation ko sa contents ng table ko sa order details? Hindi tayo naglalagay nito. Hindi natin ito ginagawa sa table. Why? Kasi pag naglagay ka nito, paano kung nagbago na ang presyo ng product? Hindi na magiging accurate yung subtotal mo. Ang tendency, manually mo siyang i-edit. Pag database kasi, pag mga constant data, ilalagay mo sa database. Pero pag sinabing dynamic data, those are the result of any calculation. Hindi mo siya sinasama sa table mo. Instead, ginagawa mo, sa query mo na lang siya kino-compute para maging accurate siya. Parang sa Excel, gumagawa ka ng extra cell, then you write formula para maging accurate yung calculation niya. Okay? Nagets po? Kaya ganito yung result ng aking query. Ang ginawa ko, nag-compute ako ng calculation para makuha ko yung subtotal niya. Now, anong relevance nito sa purpose ng group by? Ang group by kasi, pwede kang mag-create ng summary ng purchase ni customer 10248. So, ang gagawin ko ngayon, tatanggalin ko to. Ang gagawin ko ngayon, isasum ko siya. Okay? Ibig sabihin, lahat ng total na 168 plus 98 plus 174, ito total ko na lang siya as one column. Nakuha po ba? Ganun po yung purpose niya. Total. Ayan. Okay. Ngayon, execute natin. Hopefully gumana. Dasalan nyo to. Ay, hindi siya gumana. Wait lang. Saan ako nagkamali? Where? Dapat pala nasa unahan yung where. Sorry po. Okay, sorry man. Okay, so lahat ng babayaran ni 10,248 ay 440 pesos. Ganon. So, yung order niya sa item na to, yung tatlong products na yon, ang nagtototal siya ng 440 pesos. Yun yung lalabas pag nag-print si computer ng resibo. Nakuha po yung point? Nakuha? Di ba may sa resibo ganon, may subtotal tapos may total sa dulo? Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, nag-guess nyo na yung purpose ng query. Napaka-power po niya actually. Kasi yun yung nilagay natin sa program. Now, ang gusto ko lang maintindihan nyo, yung paggamit ng group by, yung implementation niya. Now, if you can't understand my examples, lalo na yung mga previews, you can use your internet, search the group by, search the aggregate function, then explore some examples there. Okay? Yun to. Okay? So, yun. That is what you call group by. Ngayon, gawin natin, lahat ng orders natin, magkano lahat ng kinita natin? Lahat na. So, from 800 records, 800 ba yun? 8,000 records. So, lahat na. F9. So, meron tayo per customer, eto na. So, since naka-group by ako per order ID, so per customer, yung una, per 40, yung isang customer, may 1.8, ayan. Okay. Gets po? Gets? Gets na? So, that's the purpose of group by. Basically, tandaan nyo lang parati, group by is used to group common records. Then, you can apply aggregate function to perform calculations, etc., etc. Okay? So, yun. Pwede natin itong gawin. Let's say, for example, try natin to. Pwede kaya siya as total? Ayun, pwede. Gawin natin descending para mahanap natin kung sino yung may pinakamataas na order. Okay, halimbawa, yun, yung may pinakamataas na order na una compared sa pinakamababa. Okay, so as you can see, I am now applying combination of the topics, previous topics na diniscuss ko a while ago. Okay? So, yun. Ano para? Okay, so yun. Explore nyo lang yung mean. Ang mean kasi, and max, hinahanap nyo yung maximum. Pinakamataas. Eto, lagay ko na rin. Ano yung max mean? Sabihin natin ito, max. Doon sa mga na-compute niya, sino may pinakamataas na nabili or nabinili or na ginasto sa company ko? Oops, hindi ata pwede pagsamahin. Invalid use of group, hindi ata pwede pagsamahin. Okay, next time na lang natin to apply. Kasi may aggregate function ka na, nag-aggregate function ka pa. So, yun. Okay, next. Okay, group by. Okay, distinct naman. Okay, what's the purpose of distinct? Distinct means you are trying to eliminate duplicate. Okay, for example, display tayo ng list of customers. Okay. Customers. Okay, so F9 natin, asterisk. Okay, F9. Okay, so I want to, let's say for example, sabi ng manager nyo, Andre, okay, si Sid naman. Sid, can you give me the countries that made an order to our company? So, gagawin mo ngayon, ikaw si Sid, madali lang yun, sir. Kunin ko yung country para mabigay ko sa list lahat ng customer natin na belong sa country. Ngayon, nung lumabas yung result ng query mo, order by natin. Arrange natin into alphabetical arrange by country. Okay, sir, ito na yung result. Ano nangyari, sir? Bakit ganito? Bakit ganito, Sid? Dapat ilabas mo lang sa akin, tama naman yung binigay mong lista. Kasi ang problema, Sid, may duplicate. So, dapat, ang gawin mo, Sid, kung magbibigay ka sa akin ng list of countries, dapat, isa lang para hindi duplicate. Okay, so, ang purpose ni distinct is to eliminate duplicate values. Nakuha po yung point. Okay, so tanggalin natin yung mga duplicates. So, gawin mo, distinct. So, the purpose of distinct is to display unique. Okay, unique countries or unique values na lang. Okay? So, yun. Let's try F9. See? So, meron na tayong unique countries. So, meron tayong all in all 21 rows. Ayan. Wala nang duplicates. Okay, so yun. That's how you implement and the use of distinct clause. Okay? hopefully nasusundan. Okay, so yun. Okay, ayan. So, gaya nito, salary, etc., etc. So, distinct salary. So, display nyo lang lahat ng unique salary. Okay. Okay, notes. Wala naman akong notes kasi ni-notes ko na lahat kanina pa doon sa taas. Nag-notes na ako kanina eh. Okay, so yun. So, basically, I discussed the entire topic that I mentioned from the topic slide. Asan ba yun? Yeah, na-discuss ko na ito lahat. So, that's end my discussion. Question. I'm going to stop the recording.